Hi, we are on day 3 of Preparing for Passover, a 14-day devotional for the days from Biblical New Year to Passover. Day 3, What's in Your Hand? Read Exodus chapter 4, verses 1 through 9. I'm reading from the WebUS translation. Moses answered, "But behold, they will not believe me, nor listen to my voice, for they will say, 'Yah has not appeared to you.' Yah said to him, 'What is that in your hand?' He said, 'A rod.' He said, 'Throw it on the ground.' He threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and Moses ran away from it. Yah said to Moses, 'Stretch out your hand and take it by the tail.' He stretched out his hand and took hold of it, and it became a rod in his hand. This is so that they may believe that Yah, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you." Yah said furthermore to him, "Now put your hand inside your cloak." He put his hand inside his cloak, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous, as white as snow. He said, "Put your hand inside your cloak again." He put his hand inside his cloak again, and when he took it out of his cloak, behold, it had turned again as his other flesh. It will happen, if they will not believe you or listen to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. It will happen, if they will not believe even these 2 signs or listen to your voice, that you shall take of the water of the river and pour it on the dry land. The water which you take out of the river will become blood on the dry land. Day 3, What's in your hand? Yah has such a beautiful pattern for encountering and calling his people, and it is outlined for us very clearly in these chapters about Moses. Yah begins by working around us to get our attention, to see if we will respond to his invitation to come closer and get to know him. Then he begins to reveal himself, his name, character, and reputation to us. It is like a beautiful dance where he initiates and leads, but also waits for us to respond and question, to wrestle and probe. The next step we see in this pattern comes in the question Yah asks Moses in Exodus 4:2, "What's in your hand?" While encountering and entering into a relationship with Yah inevitably changes us and actually has the purpose of working a complete transformation in us from the inside out, he never treats us like a blank slate. He doesn't just start from scratch with us. Instead, he uses everything that has happened in our lives, every experience we've had, every lesson we've learned, and he weaves it into something totally unexpected, completely miraculous, and more exquisite than we could have ever thought of or imagined. Ephesians 3:19 and 20. When Yah asked this question of Moses, the answer was a shepherd's staff. Moses had spent the last 40 years wandering in a foreign land, leading, corralling, feeding, and caring for a flock of sheep that didn't even belong to him. They were his father-in-law's sheep. The tool of his trade was his shepherd's staff. After this encounter with Yah, he would spend his next 40 years wandering in a foreign land, leading, corralling, feeding, and caring for a flock of people that didn't belong to him either. They were Yah's set-apart people. Yah intended to use every single lesson Moses had learned in Midian, and probably a lot of things he had learned in his first 40 years in Egypt as well, to make Moses the leader he had designed for his people. Perhaps to remind him of all these things, Yah in his wisdom chose to have Moses keep the same tool of his trade. He took Moses' staff, his worn and well-used everyday tool, and made it into the sign of Yah's calling and the authority he was giving to Moses. That staff would be used to demonstrate the power and might of Yah to countless Israelites and Egyptians, not to mention all of us who continue to be amazed by these stories thousands of years later. So what about you? What's in your hand? What experiences have you been through? What trials have you endured? What mistakes have you made that you feel have left you stuck somewhere you never intended or wanted to be? What training or skills has Yah made it possible for you to gain? Perhaps in the most mundanely imaginable ways. Whatever it is that is in your hand, you can be sure that Yah has every intention of using it to demonstrate his power and might to a watching world.